Disclaimer, this video is based off my opinions. You'll probably get the gist by now, but just to quickly explain, I'm ranking by deco and song, not by gameplay. That's probably quite important since it's AkunAkun. Anyways, same like goal as last video, 2,000 likes and I'll rank every split 72 level. Last time you all did absolutely amazing at that. This list is 49 levels, and with all that said, onto the rankings. An absolutely terrible take on the modern style, very boring, and half of it is auto. Genuinely nothing even remotely good about this level, don't play it. One of the worst levels I have ever seen. Giving a 0 out of 10 feels generous, however visually the boss fight isn't terrible, I guess. By the way, this is the spike design. A boring, bad auto level. Visually better than most of the levels surrounding it on this list, however for me auto levels have to be significantly more interesting visually to make up for a lack of gameplay, and this still looks terrible, so it's placed here. Not as terrible as Calming or Invited, but still complete dog shit. A terrible boss fight level with ugly colours, it's just generally unpleasant. Really empty, really ugly, and the song is mediocre as shit. AkunAkun's first level, and unfortunately it shows. Most of it's pretty ugly, but it could be worse, I guess. A 1.0 style level which uses non-1.0 game modes, which just feels kind of weird, and that wave part is just simply ugly. It doesn't really do much to be ugly, it's just that it's a 1.0 style level that doesn't do much, and looks aged and mediocre for it. A minute and a half of essentially the same designs over and over and over again. The drop is genuinely terrible. It does have some decent looking parts, but it also has some very ugly ones too. Bits of the drop look decent all things considered, but as a level it's just not good. This level's too short to have any form of progression or substance. What's fair is okay though, I guess. A very boring, very empty level throughout its whole runtime. A very ugly, very messy level that looks like a sloppy rebrand of Arcturus. No idea why this is mostly auto, it doesn't do the level any favours. Just a slightly better version of Monster Lair. Some of the colours are bad and the glow usage sucks in some parts, but overall it isn't terrible. This level feels empty a lot of the time, and some of the designs are ugly, and most are bland. This level is literally just a few mazes attached to each other, it's really fucking boring. As well as this, like, the guitar solo parts, yeah, it's funny, but my god, you can't see at all! Each part is generally not terrible, but not really that good either, and generally it works okay as a level, but the song is pretty terrible. Really hate the custom orbs, it's generally very hard to tell what is what in this level. The name is indeed correct, it feels like a filler level. It doesn't do anything interesting and it doesn't try anything. And most of the things it does anyways are somewhat poorly executed and it's just plain boring. This level's just meh. The effects aren't very interesting or well made, and that's really all the level has going for it other than the song, which is a complete banger. Conceptually pretty cool, however in some parts the execution really falls flat. This is Akun's first level after taking a 3-year break from the game, and generally it's alright, but unfortunately there are flaws. This level's very messy in some parts and very empty in others. The last ship gimmick is funny, it's literally just a fireworks ship. Has some parts that are 2 out of 10 and some that are 7 out of 10. The drop is very underwhelming, but this level has some interesting gimmicks. Having a level using only 2 color channels is a really cool idea, however I don't think that this executes that the best. Some parts it feels completely original and it's very cool to watch, but some feel ripped from Super Probably level and a worse version at that. By the way, this song is actually like really cool. This level is not very awesome, it's just very boring and very empty, and it's 3 minutes long. You know, for being a level of this length, you'd expect there to be something interesting to talk about, but unfortunately there just isn't. The mazes just feel unfocused and poorly decorated, and the deco generally is just bland. His first platformer, not terrible, but not good. It feels like a starting point to Booba Wamba, which I find quite interesting. Trying to be gimmicky gameplay-wise while having the blandest deco to ever exist just doesn't do it for me. We ain't gonna talk about the name. This level would have been a 6 out of 10 if it weren't for the shader abuse, which I get is the whole point of the level, but it just isn't even funny. Has some cool ideas, but the execution is messy. While editing, I learned that this was made in 4 days, which is actually pretty damn impressive. Good job, Akun. Just very empty, and the song rep is lacking as the song itself sucks. The colours are nice, and some parts in the middle of the level actually look pretty good. Just know that while I'm doing these voiceovers, my cat's here, so if you hear him, then that would be why. Say hi to Milo, by the way. The name does not lie. It is indeed very mid. By the way, just know my cat's now trying to attack me. Help! It's a chill level, however, it's also boring and bland. The second half lets us level down. My cat's now fast asleep on me. What a turn of events. A 40-minute purple-only level. I'm not interested in watching this through whatsoever, and because of that I'm unsure as to where I'm ranking this. So I feel a 5 out of 10 works. I feel like a level of this kind of length needs more variation in colours to be interesting, so yeah. It's very impressive that he made a level this long to a decent standard anyway, so props to him. His first rated extreme, which has a funny typo in the name, it screams early 2.1 and actually has some pretty great parts. I originally had this at like number 28 or something, but this has really grown on me. Probably because the song's amazing. Unfortunately mediocre, its deco is very generic and lacking pulses throughout. The boss fight is under-detailed and slightly boring, especially compared to its newly released sequel, UNB Crusher. Very cool conceptually, however looks a bit aged and some parts are fairly ugly. Generally though, this level's pretty cool. Cool ideas, but I'm not very keen on how it's executed. The paper parts feel empty and sometimes lack depth, then the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle part feels thematically inconsistent compared to the paper parts, so the level ends up feeling unstructured and a bit messy. Lacks intensity for most of the level, and the dual foreground stuff is funny as hell, but after that it's just generic and boring. And would you look at that, and my other cat's here. Yes, I'm editing in my pyjamas, don't judge me. Some bits look subpar and the level feels unfocused in the drop, however generally it's fine. Generally it's fine, but that maze generally makes me feel sick. An all-round decent level, but it does get a tad boring by the end. Some of the 2.2 stuff does feel a little forced, and I find it very funny how some of the upscale objects just don't render, meaning the foreground for the wave looks stupid as hell. Other than that, it's a good bit better than a lot of his other works. A very chill, atmospheric level. The foreground stuff destroys a bit rate, so I'd recommend actually playing this level to see how it looks. Really cool, however the first part's the best part, which leaves the rest of the level feeling a little underwhelming, but that first part is amazing. Not anything crazy deco-wise, but it looks good and it's quite funny. A really well-made Hexagon Force remake. Some of the effects are really cool, and generally the designs are some of Akun's most interesting. A very creative level, and the second half is generally better than the first half, but all round very good. It's also quite funny. This is the only level where I'd say Akun truly succeeds at making a maze part feel interesting and not disorienting. The animations are funny, the story is funny, and I love the boss fight. This level is generally really funny, the deco is really good, and is a hell of a fun watch. Very deserving of the #1 spot. And that is every AkunAkun level ranked. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'd like to say thank you for the recent support. This last month has been kind of crazy for me. I've just set up memberships. I've made them quite cheap. Hey, maybe go buy them, just saying. Generally, I'd give Akun's catalogue a 3 out of 10 as he has a lot of shit levels, a lot of mediocre levels, and only a few pretty good ones. Which is a shame as he as a creator is improving very, very quickly. Anyways, whose levels do you think I should rank next?